Hi, my name is Morgan. I am an environmental science major here at Fresno State. Today I'm going to be talking about invasive species, specifically invasive plant species. I'm mostly going to be referencing a paper published by the Journal of Ecology, written by Torres et al. They specifically go into the interactions between the Scotch broom and the sweetbriar rose, as well as the native Argentinian flora where they did their experiment. You can actually see a Scotch broom right here on this slide. They are very pretty, but unfortunately they are highly invasive. So for some background, plants, they have been evolving for millions and millions of years to really thrive in certain conditions, because unlike animals, if those conditions aren't perfect, they can't get up and walk away. So they really have to be really good at where they're at. There are certain adaptations that help them thrive in their environment. Adaptations to temperature, seasonality, the amount of nutrients in the soil or lack of nutrients in the soil, the amount of rain they're getting, humidity, all those things come together to help a plant thrive. When unfortunately a species is introduced to a new area, sometimes they do become invasive, mostly by human interaction. And sometimes they do have adaptations that make them better suited for that host environment, and they actually do outcompete the native plants. Plants, it's hard to think about, but they do compete just like animals do. They're competing for nutrients, for space for their roots to grow, for sunlight, and they can be pretty aggressive about it. You can see a kudzu vine right here. They are highly, highly invasive. They're a very fast-growing plant. They are related to the pea plant. You can see it completely overtaking a truck right here. Um, so there are a lot of implications for these adaptations that we can, in a sense, use against them. So if we understand what it is about the host environment that's making it so appealing for those invasive species. Is it again the temperature, the amount of nutrients, the are the seasons just a bit better there? Um, and what factors do they have that helps them outcompete the native species? And again, what adaptations do the invasive species have themselves that make them better suited than the native species? So they did some experiments. They did both field work and greenhouse experiments, but I'm going to be just talking about the field work. So they did target, again, the sweetbriar rose and the Scotch broom on Isla Victoria, an island off of Argentina. So they had 61-meter plots, all containing a mix of both species. And they broke them down into early removal. They were specifically talking about timing in this paper. Um, so they broke it down into early removal, which was in February, and late removal in May. And the control was left completely alone. And they did repeat these trials several times. So these are the results that they got. You can see this figure here. Basically, what they saw was the early removal of the Scotch broom had little to no effect on the sweetbriar rose. However, early removal of the sweetbriar rose resulted in a significant 40% increase in the cover of the Scotch broom, specifically in early removal, and a 32% increase in late removal. So there is significant interaction between the sweetbriar rose and the Scotch broom. It just depends on which one you take out first. In conclusion, again, it's hard to think about, but plants can be very aggressive when it comes to outcompeting each other. Some poison the soil for other plants so they can't grow. That's strawberries. um, but there's a lot of implications that we can use to essentially use those plants' adaptations against themselves. Because once the plants get out of hand, it's very hard to get them under control. Well, I hope you learned something about plants today. I appreciate you listening. Bye.